Hey everybody, my name is Coach Lewis, and I know you guys have been bored at home, sitting around. So today we're going to focus on a couple different things, but primarily we're going to focus on basketball. Basketball is one of my favorite sports. I'm not sure what time you guys are watching this, but I'm sure you're tuned in to see our Miami Heat in the playoffs as they make a push towards the NBA Finals, hopefully bring home a championship back home. So right now we're going to go over a couple of drills. And like I said, if you've played basketball before, you're going to get a little bit quicker. If not, we're going to get you the introductory version where you can get started and get, see now, before we get started, we do have to do some stretches so we can get our body loose. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our right hand and put it over our left shoulder. We're going to count that down. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And same thing with our left arm over our right shoulder, count it down, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms to your side, we're going to do some shoulder shrugs backwards. We're not going to count here, we're just going to loosen up our shoulders. You're going to put your arms out, same thing, we're not going to count, but we're going to do circular motions forward. Just a couple times so you can get loose, get a nice little breakout here, and then switch it back over. You're going backwards now until you feel a little loose. Very important, we're going to be shooting. If we're going to do shooting motions, passing motions, we need to make sure that our arms, our upper body, our shoulders are loose. Now we're going to do a stretching for our legs. Legs apart, get both your hands, touch the ground. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're all going to get down on the floor now, do some butterflies. So for this, you're going to put your feet together, grab them here, flap your legs. Not going to count down either, you're just going to do it until you feel loose. All right, you're going to open up your legs, you're going to reach forward, reach to your right foot, left foot, and we're gonna get up and get ready to get some basketball going. All right guys, so I do have some cones here and our basketball that we'll be using later. If you don't have cones at home, that's not a problem. You can get socks, shirts, anything that your parents allow you to use at home, put it down as markers and we'll be able to get our drill started. All right, so before we even start using the basketball, we're gonna do some different drills and activities that don't involve the basketball so we can get ready for what's going to take us into our basketball stances, our drills, and what we actually need the basketball for. So here we go. Okay, so like I said, you might have different materials that you're going to use instead of cones, but I'm going to put my 2 cones down right over here. I'm going to be using, this is called the free throw line. I'm going to use the free throw line as a target, all right, where I'll put both my cones to the end. And the first thing we're going to go over is the defensive stance. Defensive stance is you're bending your knees, arms out, and you're ready to play defense on anybody who's coming at you with a basketball, right? But for this particular drill, we're going to work on defensive stance and how we move. So the main thing for this is you want to stay low. Again, bend your knees, arms should be out. And right now, you're just going to do it very slow. You're going to take 2 steps, and 2 steps, and 2 steps, 2 steps. 2 steps, stop, and then go back. All right, we'll do this a couple of times. Okay, all right, now the same stance that we're going to use for defensive stance is also the same kind of motion that we're going to do for passing the ball. All right, once we get the ball, there's 2 types of passes that you can do. You can do a chest pass, where you're stepping in, and you're trying to make sure the pass goes to somebody's chest area. The other pass is called the bounce pass, okay? So we're going to mimic those motions right now. Same thing we did side to side for defense. We're going to do first with a chest pass to this cone and then come back with a bounce pass. So we're just going to chest pass, chest pass, chest pass, chest pass. And now we're going to bounce pass, bounce pass, bounce pass, bounce pass, okay? The idea of this is to get into a rhythm, all right? So that way when we actually get the basketball, we're going to have a chance to focus on an area and pass it there every time, okay? It should be the same motion. So when you're doing the chest pass, it should be like this. It should be up high or this way. It should be one motion, and you're passing it straight to the person. I mean, right at you in the camera now. Same thing with a bounce pass, straight down. So one more time, we're gonna do chest, 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 and then we're gonna go bounce pass, bounce, bounce, and bounce. All right, guys, so we've made a W with our cones over here. Again, if you don't have cones at home, not a problem. You can use socks or shirts or whatever you have handy, okay? So we're gonna get back next to this cone. We're gonna do our defensive stance. All right, make sure you're sliding to each cone. Once you get to the cone, you're gonna turn sideways and go to the next cone or the next shirt or whatever you have at home, right? So defensive stance, defensive stance, defensive stance, turn. Defensive stance, turn. Defensive stance, turn. Back all the way to the cone, all right? And then we're gonna repeat it one more time. So down, stay low, stay low, stay low, turn. Stay low, stay low, stay low, turn. Stay low, turn. Defensive stance. Okay? So we're gonna do 3 sets of those. So make sure that you're gonna go back and forth 3 different times. So before we grab the basketball, start taking some shots and doing some actual dribbling, I wanna show you the motion of how exactly you're supposed to grab the basketball and how you're supposed to position yourself. The best way to do it is to, whichever hand you're dominant at, in my case it's the right hand, so I'm gonna grab the ball, I'm gonna pretend that I'm grabbing the ball with my left hand, hold it on this side, ball's over here, I'm gonna set up, and I'm gonna do this motion, okay? So again, whichever side whichever hand you use, to right or whatever your dominant hand is, you're going to shoot with that hand obviously, but you're gonna hold it with the other hand. So again, the motion is pretend like you're catching the ball, all right, and you're gonna shoot all in one motion. So we're gonna do that repetitively. So grab the ball, shoot. Pretend like you're grabbing the ball, shoot. Okay, you do 10 of those to get into a motion as to how you're gonna be shooting once you get a ball in your hands. So now that you have the ball in place, and again, if you don't have a basketball, try to use any kind of ball that you have available to you. All right, so the motion is basically whatever hand you're dominant with, you're gonna throw that ball to the other hand, grab it, and shoot. Pass it over, grab it, and shoot. In this case, we're not looking for a basket. We don't have a basket around us just yet. Okay, the idea is not to, fire it up against the ceiling. We're just trying to get a rotation. It's all about the rotation. If you'll notice, the ball is meant to be caught on this side of the basketball. You're supposed to hold it this way, and it should make a nice little spiral. Okay, if you're grabbing it this way and it's going turned, it's not really gonna, flow. So make sure that you're practicing positioning with your hand, and then getting a nice rotation on the basketball. Very important. So you're gonna do that a couple times. Just grab and shoot. Throw it to yourself, grab and shoot. Throw it to yourself, grab and shoot. Okay. Also remember, once we get onto a court, or you're anywhere near a basket, you're also going to incorporate a jump. Very important to get as elevated as you can when you shoot. So you're going to try to, catch the ball and get a nice little jump step to it. Okay, so before we can get to shooting or any other activities, we got to learn how to dribble. All right, not everybody plays for the Harlem Globetrotters. If you haven't or don't know who that is, look it up. They do amazing things with the basketball. They can spin it for 45 minutes or more. They put it behind their back. They pass without looking. That's all fine, but we all got to start, before we get to that level, we got to start the basic introductory level. So at this point, we're going to learn just to dribbling the basketball in place, okay? You just want to get the ball bouncing right back to you. It's almost like a yo-yo, but there's no string. So you just want to make sure you bounce it and it'll come right back to you, okay? Nice and easy, just a couple of dribbles, nothing fancy, okay? Stop, and you're going to switch and do it with the other hand, okay? Couple times. The key to that is continuous repetition, okay? You're not going to become a dribbling sensation overnight, but you definitely can, hurt yourself if you're not able to continue to dribble in place, practice. No matter how many times you do it, you can't do it enough. So make sure you keep on practicing the dribbling. Both hands. Okay, so we're going to work on our passing now, similar to what we did earlier. But in this case, we're going to ask that you use a partner. So one of your parents, or if you have any siblings, your brother, your sister, or a friend can help you out so you can practice your passing, okay? If you don't have someone and you have permission, very important key word there, if you have permission from your parents to use a wall, you're able to use the side of the garage or a side of the wall that you're not going to damage. Very important. Ask your parents before you do this to see if you can do these passing drills on your own. Okay, so in this case, Remember, we worked on 2 passes right now, our chest passes and our bounce passes. So if you're able to use the wall, you're gonna maybe look at a mark in the wall. So if there's a middle part, you're gonna try to aim for that the whole time. We don't wanna change our passes. So in this case, I'm gonna try to identify an area and do a chest pass, okay? You do wanna change your legs motion every time you pass. So first with the right, catch it, then with the left, catch it. Right, left, okay? For your bounce pass, it's the same thing, but in this case, you're gonna try and, if you're using a wall, you're gonna try to hit a motion where the ball's gonna bounce back to you. It's similar like we talked about before with the yo-yo. Put it down, it comes right back to you. You want the same motion with the bounce pass. So bounce it, have it come back to you. Bounce it, have it come back to you. Make sure you're switching your leg motion. So first with the right, and then with the left, okay? Make sure the ball comes back to you. Again, when you're doing passing drills, it's very important that you repeat the motion back and forth. Even if you're not able to pass to someone, if you can't find a friend, or if your parents don't allow you to use the wall, you can mimic the motion. So grab the ball, and you're just going to pretend you're passing. Pretend you're passing, okay? Same thing, switching your legs every time. Bounce pass, the same thing. Straight down, all right? But do not go away from the set motion. It's all about repetitiveness every single time. Okay, we worked on our dribbling, we worked on our passing, we did a little bit of a shooting motion. Now we're going to talk about what you do when you have the ball, if you happen to be stuck, all right? You can use your pivot foot. Okay, a lot of people don't know this. Obviously, once you grab the ball, you could dribble. Once you stop dribbling, you either have to pass or shoot, okay? But a lot of people don't know a secret maneuver, and that's called using your pivot foot. Okay, so if once you catch the ball, once you pick up your dribble, if you are done, one of your feet may stay planted on the ground and you are able to move this motion. You can move all the way around so long as your foot doesn't pick up. If you pick up, that's called traveling. Same thing as if you were to do this with a ball stop and you take a step, that's a traveling violation. However, if you're stuck with the ball, you picked up your dribble, you can use your pivot foot. One foot will always stay down. Okay, so we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on catching the ball, and we're gonna work on just keeping this foot down and moving all the way around the ball. Okay? Making sure we do not pick this foot up. You also cannot drag your foot. Foot cannot drag, it's gotta stay planted on the ground. Okay, but that's very important if you are being covered by somebody, okay, and you need to look for somebody to pass to, keep your pivot foot down. You move away from that person in different directions. Okay, so that's very important, your pivot foot, to practice that drill. All right, so we're gonna do some dribbling drills first. We're gonna start real simple. I'm gonna use my right hand, because that's my dominant hand, okay, and I'm just gonna go around the cones. Okay, not in between, just straight around. So I'm gonna dribble. Nice and easy, just hold on the hips. Around the cones, all right? If you're left-handed, same thing. Around the cones, if you're left-handed. Nice and easy. Okay? This is not a race. You're not trying to do this as quick as possible. Your main objective here is just make sure the ball is down and it's coming back to your hand. Ball is coming right back down to your hand. That's all you want to do. You're not trying to do it fast. You're not trying to do it, to beat a certain time. You want to go around these cones with the ball not falling away from your hand. That's all you want to do, all right? Trust the ball. As soon as you put it down, it's going to come back to you if you're going along with it. If you're not watching or not paying attention where the ball's going, it's going to get away from you. It might hit your foot. It might hit your knee. You don't want to do that. So keep the ball in front of you. Okay, make sure you do quick motion. Make sure you're coming right back to you every time. Once you get comfortable, I would like for you to take whichever hand you're going to start with and put it behind your back. Okay, that way you don't use it as to try and catch the ball. Okay, so put your hand behind your back and just focus again on putting the ball right back towards you. Okay, you're not going fast, you're not going slow. You're going to small motion. Okay, same thing with the left hand. Hand behind your back. Now low. Okay? We could also incorporate both hands. So we're going to start off here behind the cone. I'm going to use my right first, and then I'm going to switch to my left. Okay? Same thing this way. Right, back. Okay? The basketball is your friend. It's going to go with you wherever you go as long as you dribble in that direction. Okay? Once you turn, if you're going to turn on the cone, you're going to make a small transition over to your left hand. You have to be ready to catch it. And that's why you always have to have your hand on the ball, your eyes on the ball. Hand and eyes on the ball always, okay? I know some of you guys think that you're professionals out there and you're going to want to do this, okay? But if you're not looking at where the ball's going, you're going to lose. You're going to lose that ball and somebody else is going to take it and go the other way for a basket. So make sure you always have your eyes and your hands focused on the basketball, right? Especially when we're making that turn from one cone, okay, to the next cone, to the next dribble. Okay, as I mentioned before, the ball is almost like a vehicle, like if you're in a car, and it'll go as far as you go and wherever you go. So in this case, we're not focusing just on dribbling around cones or straight, we're going to reverse it here. So the drill this time was going to be to dribble towards the cone, stop, dribble 5 times, and then you're going to dribble back. And do the same thing to the next cone. Dribble up, dribble 5 times, 5, and then back. It may be a little bit tougher with your different hand if you're not left-handed or if you're not right-handed, but that's fine. Go a little slower. So you dribble, stop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. Take your time. It's not a race. Come back up to the next goal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then take your time. Dribbling back, looking at the ball, looking at the ball, looking at the ball. Okay? The main thing here is to control the ball at all times. Okay? Not trying to do it the quickest. Just make sure you control the ball. Keep your eyes and your hand on the ball. You have no problems. Okay, guys, so remember, if you don't have cones at home, and I don't expect you to have them, you can use anything. All right? In this case, we have a soccer ball, I have a trash can, and I have a chair. Make sure that it's not a chair that your mom likes to sit in, okay? Or somebody in the house is her favorite chair. You don't want to ruin it or break it, okay? But we're going to be very cautious. We're just using these as objects instead of the cones, so you can go to point A to point B to point C. Back and forth, in between, and we could substitute those for cones. Okay, another thing we can incorporate is if you have help at home from a brother or sister or your parents or friends, you can have all the cones laid out, or in this case, whether it's a shoe or a sock, all right, you can name them different positions. So right now I have cone 1, 2, 3, and 4, but at home you could have baseball cap, book, sock, shirt, and then you could have a buddy at home or your parents or anybody in the family to yell out an area, or in this case, a cone as to where you're going to go to. So if my buddy yells out cone 1, dribble to cone 1 with your left hand. Cone 1, pick up, stop. Dribble to cone 4 with your right hand. Cone 4, pick up. All right. If you want to go to cone 3 and 2, go to 3 and then switch to cone 2. Okay. So there's different kind of like relay race styles that you could do where you involve all the cones in different directions at different times and with different movements. So one time could be with your left hand, one time could be with your right hand. It could also be a combination, back and forth, right and left. But the key is to change it up, change different directions as to where you're going, and that's going to help you a lot out when you're on a basketball court. Okay, a lot of things that are very important too that I like to do is to do hand-eye coordination. Very important in basketball. So we're going to do some things that are going to get our hand-eye coordination and our ability to, get out of situations when a defender's trying to take the ball from us. So you can start out very easily by just transferring the ball side to side from one hand to the other. Okay. Once you get more confidence, you can do it a little quicker. Okay, but for now, just try to catch it with the other hand. Flip it to the other hand, back and forth, little by little. You don't want to drop it. So again, you're not trying to do this really fast at first. You're just trying to do it the correct way. So just back and forth from hand to hand, okay? You can either get a little lower sometimes. Try to take it low to the ground and then get back up little by little, okay? You can also, I'm sure if you see on TV LeBron James or Stephen Curry, putting the ball behind your back, okay? It doesn't have to be quick at first, just pass it to one side, get it with the other hand, okay? If your right is your dominant hand, you can start with your right to your left. right to your left. Nice and easy. Take your time. Okay, and the same thing, you can use this going down, going up, slow motions. Okay, we're gonna work on defensive side of the ball game right now. That involves boxing out and rebounding. For boxing out, what that means is once somebody shoots the ball in the air, the ball goes off the basket, somebody's gonna try and get that ball. If you're on defense, they're gonna try and get the ball from you. So you just wanna put your back to a wall like this, and just pretend like you're backing up, okay? Backing up. You can't physically put your hands on the person, but you can make this motion, okay? Just like if somebody's trying to, pass you and you're not letting them in, you're gonna hold your arms out like this, and you're gonna back up, okay? So if you wanna use it with force of a person and you don't have somebody there with you, you can just get on the wall and just do this motion, okay? Or you can just stand straight in defensive stance, and you're gonna just back up, just like you're backing the person. You're not letting the person get in front of you to get the basketball, okay? All right, so now that we worked on the boxing out, again, you're gonna use the wall. If you have one, you have a wall you can use to just back up with the pressure, or you can back up in place. The reason why we're doing that is for the next step, which is getting a rebound. Getting a rebound means that somebody on the other team has shot the ball, and now we need to grab the ball so we can score a basket ourselves, okay? If you have the use of a wall, very important, make sure mom and dad allows you on the side of the house or anywhere that you find a wall that you're able to, hit the wall with a basketball or any ball that you have without damaging or scuffing the wall, okay? You're just gonna throw the ball on the wall and try to secure it. Throw it off the ball and try to secure it, okay? The motion is pretty much whichever hand you're dominant in, if it's the right or the left, you wanna grab it up, grab it with that hand and bring it into your body. Okay, keep in mind also, once you're in the motion of getting the ball, there's going to be other people on the other team that's going to be trying to take that ball away from you. That's why the motion is to grab it and bring it inside. Okay? Make sure that nobody's going to grab it from you. So you can use the wall once again, straight forward, or you can throw the ball up in the air and go get it. Throw it up in the air, go get it. Okay, it's one motion. The main thing that we're trying to do, sorry. All right, guys, as we're closing out the end of this segment, I want to just make sure that we go over what we've touched upon, which is basically taking the basketball. We're going to make sure we dribble it with our whichever hand, whether it's our strong hand, our right hand, or our left hand. Make sure we're constantly looking at where the ball is going, keeping your eyes and your hand on the ball at all times, and let yourself, your hand, guide the ball. Stay with it. Okay. We also practice our defensive stance. Very important to get low. Okay. A couple of drills that we can also do with that is have our cones out, okay? To work on our defense, we want to go up to the cone, get down and touch it. Touch the cone, constantly in motion, getting low to the ground and high to the ground so we can get ready for any defenders coming at us, okay? We also worked on our shooting motion. So we're gonna work on catching the ball and getting into position to shoot, okay? If you're not used to shooting the ball with one hand, that's okay, you can use two hands. So throw the ball to yourself, catch it, set yourself up in your chest, straight up, okay? And remember, we want the ball to arc nicely. So we want it to get a spin on the ball. We don't want the ball to be moving in a different direction, okay? So make sure that when you're in a position to shoot, you're releasing the ball straight up, and it's getting a nice rotation with the ball spinning just like that, okay? We worked on our passing, so we always want to do our chest passes this way and our bounce passes down low, okay? If you have a partner at home, you want to go back and forth, moving side to side. So remember, we worked on our passing this way or passing this way, okay? But we're going a side-to-side motion. Remember to lay down the cones or whatever you have with you at home in order to give yourself a sense of direction as to where you're going, a point A and a point B always.